Act as if everything you desire is already on its way. Imagine how it would feel to walk through your day knowing that the universe has already set everything in motion for you. You are not waiting for it, it is already coming. You are not chasing it, it is already drawn to you. You are not wondering if it will happen, you are resting in the knowing that it must. This is the sacred art of assuming the end, of walking in faith before the evidence appears. When you can live from the feeling that it is already done, you unlock the hidden law that governs all creation, the law of belief, the law of assumption, the law of consciousness itself. Everything you have ever longed for, love, success, peace, abundance, recognition, is not outside of you, it is within you, vibrating to be expressed. The moment you desire something, it is already created in the unseen realm. Desire is the evidence of its existence in the invisible. You could not desire what does not already exist. The instant your heart longs for it, it begins its journey toward you. But your task is not to chase, not to plead, not to doubt. It is to align, to act, to feel as though it is already yours. So walk through your life as if the divine has already delivered it. Speak from the end. Feel from the end. Live from the end. Let your heart whisper, it is done, even when your eyes see no proof. Every great manifestation begins in that invisible feeling, the quiet conviction that something unseen has already taken form. When you can persist in that inner knowing, when you can dwell in the unseen long enough, the seen world will have no choice but to rearrange itself to match it. Think of your desires as messages you sent to heaven. Once sent, you do not stand by the mailbox every hour asking if it has been received. You know it is on its way. You trust the process because you know the sender is faithful. You live your life in joy, in gratitude, in expectation. That is what faith looks like. It is not passive waiting, but active believing. You act as though what you prayed for has already been answered. And by that assumption, you call it forth into your experience. The moment you say, it is coming, it begins to come closer. The moment you say, it is mine, it starts to move into form. The world outside bends to the world inside. Your assumptions are the architecture of your reality. You cannot live in the feeling of lack and receive abundance. You cannot dwell in fear and receive courage. You cannot walk in doubt and receive clarity. You must embody what you seek before it arrives. You must vibrate at the frequency of fulfillment before it appears in matter. That is the secret of every miracle, every answered prayer, every transformation. When you awaken in the morning, do not think of what you lack. Think of what is already on its way. Whisper to yourself, Everything I desire is moving toward me. Everything I need is finding its way to me. Everything I've prayed for is already aligning. Let this become the rhythm of your thoughts. Feel the relief of knowing that the work is already done in the unseen. Let that feeling guide your steps. Let it change the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you show up. Gratitude is the language of those who know it's already done. When you live in gratitude, you declare, I have already received. And the universe, responding to your vibration, says, so it is. Gratitude is not merely a polite gesture. It is a creative force. When you give thanks in advance, you are shaping reality. You are declaring that you are no longer in a state of waiting, but in a state of receiving. You must become the person who already has what they desire. Think as that person would think. Feel as that person would feel. Walk as that person would walk. Speak as that person would speak. Do not wait for your circumstances to confirm it. Circumstances are only the shadow of your inner state. When the inner world changes, the outer must obey. When your consciousness shifts, reality bends. This is the eternal law. As within, so without. Everything begins with assumption. Assume that it is already moving toward you. Assume that unseen hands are guiding the perfect timing, the perfect path, the perfect opportunity. When you assume, you give life to your creation. You breathe energy into the invisible. You invite the universe to orchestrate the details beyond what your mind can comprehend. When doubt whispers that it's taking too long, remember that delay is not denial. The seed grows in silence before it breaks through the soil. The manifestation is forming beneath the surface before it appears to your eyes. Continue to water it with faith. Continue to nurture it with gratitude. Continue to speak life into it as though it already exists. Because it does. You cannot see the roots, but the roots are real. The universe does not forget a single desire spoken from the heart. There is no such thing as unanswered prayer. There are only prayers still unfolding. What you desire is not far. It is here, waiting for you to believe it into visibility. You are not waiting for it to arrive. It is waiting for you to align. The moment your belief matches your desire, the manifestation is inevitable. It must appear because consciousness creates form. So stop searching for signs. The greatest sign is the desire itself. Stop looking for evidence. The evidence is your awareness of the feeling fulfilled. Stop questioning when it will come. The answer is, it is already on its way. Feel it so deeply that your heart becomes quiet. Feel it until the need to ask disappears. Feel it until you know that it is already done. Live from the end now. Imagine holding that promotion letter in your hand. Imagine walking through that dream home, smelling the air, feeling the textures, hearing your footsteps echo in the hall. Imagine embracing the person you love, feeling their warmth and safety. Imagine the peace of knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly. This is not daydreaming, this is creation. The unseen world responds to the emotion of certainty. Each time you act as if it is already done, you send out a vibration that attracts its physical counterpart. Every thank you in advance is a magnetic signal. Every thought of gratitude, every confident step, every word of assurance builds momentum in the unseen realm. Do not let appearances deceive you. Appearances are only reflections of old states of mind. When you persist in the new state, the mirror must eventually reflect it back to you. There is divine timing in everything. What is meant for you cannot miss you. What has your name on it will always find you. The universe is not against you, it is conspiring for you. The delays, the detours, the disappointments, they are all part of the alignment process. They are preparing you to hold what you have asked for. Keep your inner vision steady. Keep your assumption firm. Keep your faith alive. Every great thing you will ever manifest begins as a feeling of it is done. You must feel it before you see it. You must act it before you hold it. You must know it before it shows itself. The unseen responds to the unseen within you. The invisible answers to the invisible in you. When your inner state becomes a vibration of certainty, the external world rushes to mirror it back. So live today as though it has already happened. Rejoice as though it is already yours. Speak as though heaven has already heard you, because it has. You are not waiting for miracles. You are walking among them. You are not hoping for change. You are embodying it. And as you hold that unwavering knowing, acting as if everything you desire is already on its way, you become the magnet, the vessel, the open door through which the invisible becomes visible. And your dream takes form in this very world. When you act as if everything you desire is already on its way, you enter into the highest vibration of creation, the state of knowing, not hoping. Hope waits, but faith walks as though it already possesses. Hope says, I wish this could happen. Faith says, it is already happening. The power that shapes worlds responds to the frequency of faith. It hears the silent conviction behind your thoughts, not the anxious begging of your fears. When you rise each morning and move through your day, as if all that you desire is already unfolding in perfect harmony, you align yourself with the rhythm of divine timing. You step out of worry and into wonder. You stop striving and you start allowing. You must understand that desire is not a sign of lack. It is the evidence of abundance wanting to express itself through you. The universe placed that desire in your heart not to taunt you, but to remind you of who you are. The moment you become aware of it, the path to it is already created. You do not need to figure out how. You only need to feel the reality of it. The how belongs to the divine intelligence that knows the end from the beginning. Your task is to dwell in the consciousness of fulfillment, to live in the assurance that the unseen is always more real than what your eyes can perceive. There is a power that responds to your inner conversation. Every word you speak in the silence of your mind is a command to creation. When you say, "It's on its way," the universe begins to move mountains to make it so. When you say, "I don't know if it will ever happen," you send mixed signals into the field of possibility. The universe mirrors your dominant feeling, not your passing thought. You must speak with authority and feel with conviction. You must act as the one who already has what they desire, not as one still trying to get it. When you enter a restaurant and place an order, you do not chase the waiter to the kitchen to make sure your food is being prepared. You trust that once you've placed your order, it's on its way. That's how you must treat your desires. Once you have imagined, once you have assumed, once you have felt it to be true, you must let it go and live as if it's already coming to you. That calm confidence, that relaxed expectation, is the creative power in motion. Many people delay their manifestation because they keep looking for evidence too soon. They plant the seed and then dig it up every day to check if it's growing. But the seed grows best when it is left in the dark soil of faith. It absorbs invisible nourishment before it breaks through the ground. So too, your dreams are forming in the invisible realm. Do not disturb the process by doubting. Instead, water it daily with gratitude. See the unseen as though it was seen. Walk through your life with the quiet confidence of one who knows something wonderful is about to appear. Every desire carries within it the promise of fulfillment. You would not have the desire if the fulfillment were not already possible. The moment you long for something, it is already available in the field of potential. Your belief is the bridge that carries it from the invisible into form. Faith is that invisible bridge. It connects what is seen with what is unseen, what is hoped for with what is manifested. When you act as if your desire is already on its way, you are walking across that bridge, step by step, thought by thought, feeling by feeling. So, begin now to train your imagination. Every time you think of your desire, see it as completed. if it's love you seek, imagine feeling their hand in yours, their presence beside you, the joy of mutual connection. If it's abundance, feel the freedom of not worrying about bills, the ease of generosity, the delight of overflow. If it's healing, imagine your body whole, strong, glowing with vitality. Whatever the desire, feel it now, for the feeling is the secret movement that shapes reality. The outer world always bends to the inner assumption. It cannot resist it. Reality must conform to the image held in your mind with persistence and faith. Every great change in your life will first be born in the quiet sanctuary of your imagination. What you rehearse within, you will eventually live without. Therefore, guard your inner speech. Let no thought contradict your faith. Let no emotion weaken your knowing. When you walk as though your dreams are on their way, you no longer carry the vibration of need. You carry the vibration of fulfillment. You move from I want to I have. And that shift is what draws your desires into form. The universe does not respond to words. It responds to energy. It responds to the frequency you emit when you feel something deeply as real. Every emotion is a command. Every belief is a blueprint. You cannot live in doubt and expect certainty to find you. You cannot keep telling the story of how things are not working and expect the universe to rewrite it. You must tell the story as you wish it to be. Speak the new reality as if it is unfolding now. Everything I desire is already moving toward me. The people I need are being guided to me. The opportunities are aligning in perfect order. I am in the flow of divine timing. These affirmations are not mere words. They are vibrations that shape substance. There will be moments when nothing seems to be happening. You will look around and think, where is it? Why can't I see it yet? That is when you must remember, the unseen comes before the seen. Just because you cannot see the roots doesn't mean the tree isn't growing. The universe often hides its miracles in ordinary days. You might be guided to take a small action that leads to a chain of divine connections. You might meet someone seemingly by chance who becomes the answer to your prayer. But none of this can happen until you assume the vibration of already having it. Do not let appearances deceive you. What you see now is simply an echo of your past beliefs. The present reality is nothing more than the delayed reflection of who you once assumed yourself to be. The future, however, is still pliable. It awaits the command of your consciousness. When you assume that everything you desire is already on its way, you are rewriting the script of your future. You are no longer reacting to life. You are creating it. Life will always mirror your inner certainty. When you are certain of success, circumstances rearrange to make success inevitable. When you are certain of love, love begins to reveal itself in countless forms. When you are certain of abundance, doors open that you never knew existed. Certainty is the language of creation. The universe hears certainty as law. You must understand that manifestation is not about forcing things to happen. It's about allowing them to unfold. When you act as if, you let go of control and trust the intelligence of life itself. You surrender the need to know when or how and focus only on the feeling of fulfillment. That feeling becomes your prayer. That feeling becomes your magnetic field. Everything you desire is already in motion. The energy that creates worlds is orchestrating your path in perfect order. The right people, the right moments, the right alignments, they are already converging. You may not see the entire plan, but you will always be shown the next step. The universe doesn't reveal the whole road. It gives you enough light for the next move. Walk by that light, and the rest will appear as you go. Imagine for a moment that your desire is already fulfilled. Feel the peace that comes with it. Feel the joy. Feel the freedom. That emotion is your creative signature. Stay there. Live from there. Every time your mind tries to wander into doubt, gently bring it back to that feeling. Say to yourself, it is already mine. It is already done. It is already coming. This repetition is not empty. It is rewiring your subconscious, aligning your vibration, and preparing your world to receive. The law of life is unwavering. Whatever you assume to be true becomes true for you. If you assume delay, you will experience delay. If you assume uncertainty, you will live in confusion. But if you assume fulfillment, if you assume it's already on its way, life must eventually match that assumption. You are the one giving meaning to every event, and that meaning shapes what comes next. Every manifestation carries its own gestation period. Just as a seed takes time to sprout, so does an idea take time to appear. But time is not your enemy, it is your ally. Time allows your faith to mature. Time allows you to grow into the person who can hold what you've asked for. Do not curse the waiting, use it. Use it to practice joy before the harvest. Use it to strengthen your belief. Use it to prepare your life for the blessings you know are on their way. Faith is not proven in moments of ease, it is proven in moments of silence. When you cannot see results, yet still believe, that is the moment heaven takes note. When you praise before the breakthrough, that is when your faith has power. The silence between the prayer and the manifestation is where you become who you are meant to be. So, let your inner talk always reflect the end you seek. Do not speak about how things are going wrong. Speak about how everything is aligning perfectly. Do not dwell on the delays. Dwell on the certainty of divine timing. The more you act from the state of already having, the faster your reality catches up to it. The outer world is not stubborn. It's just obedient to your assumption. You are a magnet for what you believe. The energy you radiate determines what you attract. When you walk in the vibration of fulfillment, you magnetize everything that matches that energy. People who are aligned with your new state will appear effortlessly. Opportunities will flow to you with ease. You will begin to notice divine coincidences, moments that seem orchestrated just for you. They are not accidents, they are the echoes of your assumption manifesting in time and space. Stop measuring progress by what your eyes see. The senses only reveal what is past. The true work happens in the unseen. Every day that you persist in faith, every time you choose belief over doubt, every time you give thanks in advance, you move your desire closer to the visible world. The unseen is not far away. It's right here, vibrating in another frequency, waiting for you to tune into it. The universe responds instantly to your inner shift. The moment you change your vibration, your world begins to rearrange, though you may not notice it immediately. Keep your inner state steady. Keep your assumption firm. Live in the knowing that every detail, every delay, every redirection is guiding you closer to the fulfillment of your desire. The universe never makes mistakes. Nothing that belongs to you can ever be lost. Every desire has its perfect time to bloom. You don't need to rush the process. What's coming is already certain. All you must do is align your inner world with the outcome you wish to see. Feel it, believe it, walk in it. The universe has already said yes. Now it is your turn to say yes inwardly. Stop doubting. Stop worrying. Stop waiting. Begin living as though everything you asked for is already unfolding. And soon, the world will mirror your belief. You are not separate from your desire. You are one with it. The same life that beats your heart is the same force orchestrating every detail of your dream. When you know this deeply, you stop asking, win, and start saying no. You stop reaching and start receiving. You stop striving and start allowing. And in that sacred state of acceptance, everything you have ever desired begins to reveal itself, step by step, moment by moment, in perfect divine order. So now, walk forward with the quiet confidence of one who already knows. Let your heart rest in the assurance that what you seek is already seeking you, that what you desire is already forming around you. Every invisible current of life is moving in your favor. You do not need to chase. You do not need to plead. You only need to remember who you are and what power lies within you. Act as if it is already done, because in truth it is. The universe is faithful to the image you hold in your mind and the feeling you nurture in your heart. Each time you choose faith over fear, you quicken the unfolding. Each time you give thanks, before the evidence appears, you move closer to manifestation. The unseen is always responding to your assumption. So live now in the end. Speak it, feel it, walk in it. Let your actions mirror your certainty, and your life will mirror your belief. Everything you desire is already on its way. It has heard your voice. It knows your name. It is written in your destiny, and it cannot be denied. Trust the unseen hand that is guiding your every step. Keep your heart open, your faith unshakable, and your imagination alive. For when you act as if everything you desire is already on its way, you no longer wait for miracles. You become one. Act as if you cannot fail. Let those words not merely pass through your mind, but take root in your very being. Imagine how different your energy becomes when you no longer move in fear, when you no longer question whether you are worthy, capable, or chosen. To act as if you cannot fail is to stand as one who knows that life bends to conviction, not to doubt. It is to remember that creation itself responds to the certainty of belief. When you live from the end, when you embody the version of yourself that already possesses the victory, life has no choice but to rearrange itself around your assumption. Failure only exists in the realm of uncertainty, in the mind that still wonders if it will be chosen, if it will succeed, if it will be seen. But when you act as if success is inevitable, when you walk with the composure of one who already holds the outcome, you create a magnetic field that draws all conditions to fulfill your inner reality. The external world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting your inner stance. Every event, every opportunity, every seeming setback is responding to the image you hold of yourself. So what happens when you decide that failure no longer exists in your vocabulary? Suddenly, obstacles lose their power. Doubt dissolves because your attention is fixed not on the possibility of defeat, but on the certainty of triumph. The mind that believes it cannot fail moves differently. It speaks differently. It no longer negotiates with fear, nor does it entertain thoughts of loss. Instead, it assumes that every situation, no matter how uncertain, is a step that leads to fulfillment. When you act as if you cannot fail, your imagination becomes your greatest ally. You no longer visualize outcomes with trembling hope. You see them as completed facts. You begin to think, speak, and move as the one who has already arrived. the tone of your inner conversation changes. Instead of saying, "I hope this works," you affirm, "It is done." You stop waiting for evidence to confirm your faith. Instead, your faith becomes the evidence. There is a secret power in conviction. It creates invisible bridges where logic sees no path. Life does not respond to those who wish. It responds to those who know. And knowing begins with assumption. Every invention, every discovery, every miracle began in the mind of someone who refused to doubt the reality of their inner vision. They acted from the end, not toward it. They walked as though the unseen was already visible, and their faith clothed itself in form. To act as if you cannot fail does not mean arrogance. It means alignment. It means you have awakened to the truth that the same power that breathes galaxies into being is breathing through you. How can that power fail? How can divine intelligence create a life of purpose and then abandon it midway? The very fact that you desire something deeply is proof that its fulfillment is already contained within you. Every genuine desire carries the seed of its own manifestation. When you nurture that seed with unwavering belief, it must grow. It cannot do otherwise. Most people live half awake, constantly measuring their worth by outer evidence. They let results dictate their faith, instead of letting faith dictate their results. But the moment you act as if you cannot fail, you reverse that order. You step into the creative seat of consciousness. You stop reacting and start commanding. The unseen world begins to obey the frequency of your certainty. You stop begging life for blessings and start recognizing that you are the source from which they flow. Every time you entertain fear, you tell life that you doubt its goodness. Every time you dwell in failure, you rehearse defeat in your imagination. But the mind that acts as if it cannot fail rehearses only victory. It sees closed doors as detours, not dead ends. It feels divine order even in chaos. It holds fast to the image of success even when appearances scream the opposite. This is the quiet strength that transforms destiny. When you rise each morning, don't look at your circumstances to decide how to feel. Let your feelings be dictated by the reality you have already accepted within. Walk, speak, and move in the vibration of success. Imagine that every word you speak has creative power, and every thought is a brushstroke painting your reality. Refuse to dwell in the old story of lack, rejection, or limitation. Tell yourself daily, I am the one who cannot fail because I move with divine certainty. There is no power in this world greater than consciousness. What you assume about yourself, you become. The outer world is not testing you. It is reflecting you. When you change your assumption about who you are, life must obey. If you assume that you are blessed, the world must confirm it. If you assume that every situation works in your favor, even delays will reveal themselves as divine timing. If you assume that you cannot fail, you begin to attract only the evidence of success. Think of the seed that grows into a tree. It does not question whether it will succeed. It simply contains within itself the knowing of what it is meant to become. The soil, the sun, the rain, all serve that knowing. In the same way, when you live from the awareness that failure is impossible, every element of life conspires to bring your vision to fruition. Your confidence becomes a command to the universe. Your calmness becomes a language of faith. Even when things appear to fall apart, act as if you cannot fail. Don't speak defeat into your life because of temporary appearances. Keep your inner world anchored in the vision of success. Remember, every great manifestation passes through a period where nothing seems to be happening. But in that silence, the unseen is taking shape. The invisible currents are aligning every detail in your favor. You were not designed to live in fear or hesitation. You were designed to express creation itself. You are the dreamer of your reality, and the world is your dream. When you act as if you cannot fail, you take responsibility for the dream. You no longer wait for life to change, you embody the change. You stop asking when it will happen and begin declaring that it already has. This is the essence of creative faith, the living awareness that the end is secured. So let your imagination become your sanctuary. There, see yourself as already victorious, already healed, already abundant. Feel it as real. The more real it becomes within, the faster it will reflect without. Refuse to entertain any picture that contradicts your inner conviction. If doubt whispers, "What if you fail?" smile and answer, "I cannot." That single statement carries the power to dissolve mountains of fear. You must come to see that life mirrors your attitude. The one who acts as if they cannot fail walks in a different energy, quietly assured, undisturbed by circumstances, calm in uncertainty. This stillness is not weakness, it is dominion. It is the recognition that everything is unfolding according to a higher order that cannot be broken. If you could look beyond appearances, you would see that even now, your desire is gathering form. Every belief, every word, every inner image is shaping it. So walk today with a new posture, not of striving, but of certainty. Speak as one who already holds the prize. Feel gratitude not for what is coming, but for what already is. This is the secret of those who seem unstoppable. They have ceased to consider failure as an option. When you remove failure from your mental vocabulary, all energy that once fed fear becomes available for creation. You stop scattering your power in worry and direct it entirely toward faith. Your actions become effortless because they are aligned with conviction. You no longer act to make things happen. You act because they have already happened in your inner world. That is the difference between effort and ease, between fear and faith. The truth is, every limitation you have ever experienced was born from an assumption. And every miracle you will ever experience will also be born from an assumption. Choose the assumption that you cannot fail, and watch how the universe reorganizes itself to confirm your belief. The door that once seemed locked will open effortlessly, not because you fought harder, but because you finally believed. In the silence of your heart, affirm it again and again: I cannot fail. I am divinely guided, divinely sustained, divinely victorious. Everything in my life moves toward my highest good. I am not waiting for success. I am success in motion. I do not chase outcomes. They are drawn to me by the certainty of my being. The world responds to the one who knows, not to the one who doubts. Know it now, you cannot fail. The script is already written in your favor. What you dare to imagine, you already possess. And as you act from that knowing, reality itself bows to your conviction, revealing that what you called faith was never belief in something distant. It was remembrance of who you already are. To act as if you cannot fail is to step beyond the illusion of limitation. It is to awaken to the divine law that what you assume and persist in assuming becomes your experience. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are the author of circumstance. You are not here to struggle for proof. You are here to know the truth, and let life mirror that knowing. The outer world is not separate from your inner world. It is the projection of it. Every person, every condition, every event is molded by the image you hold of yourself within. When you change that image, when you decide that failure is no longer possible, everything external begins to align with that decision. You must understand that failure is not a real force. It is only the shadow cast by self-doubt. It gains its power only through your attention. The moment you remove your focus from fear and fix it upon the reality of your success, failure dissolves like mist before the sun. You are not fighting against something. You are awakening to something. You are not overcoming the world. You are remembering your dominion over it. To act as if you cannot fail is not to ignore reality, but to choose a higher reality, the one that springs from divine imagination. Think of how many dreams have perished not because they were impossible, but because the dreamer believed they might fail. The mind that fears failure creates failure. The one that lives in the conviction of success bends the world to its will. The difference between these two is not luck, talent, or opportunity. It is faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When you act as if you cannot fail, you live from that evidence. You make unseen things visible through the force of conviction. You must learn to let your imagination feel realer than your senses. The senses show you what has been accepted in the past. Imagination shows you what is possible now. When you dwell in imagination, as if it were the present reality, you plant the seed of manifestation. Every great achievement, every invention, every masterpiece began as a feeling of certainty within someone's imagination. They lived in the end until the end took shape in time. So ask yourself now, what would it feel like if you could not fail? How would you walk, speak, think, or breathe if every outcome were already secured? Feel that. Dwell in that feeling. Let it saturate your awareness until it becomes your natural state. That feeling is not fantasy, it is creation in motion. Everything in your life will reorganize to match that inner frequency. To act as if you cannot fail is to act from identity, not from effort. It is to realize that you are not trying to become successful. You are success expressing itself. You are not trying to attract love. You are love in manifestation. You are not trying to create abundance. You are abundance made visible. Every action you take from this awareness carries the energy of completion. There is no strain, no desperation, no doubt. Only the quiet confidence of one who knows the outcome is inevitable. When you walk in this knowing, you become unshakable. People may misunderstand you. Appearances may contradict you. Results may seem delayed, but you do not waver. You stand rooted in faith because you know that the unseen is stronger than the seen. You understand that every apparent obstacle is part of the divine choreography guiding you to fulfillment. What looks like delay is preparation. What looks like loss is redirection. What looks like resistance is refinement. The one who acts as if they cannot fail sees beyond the appearance and trusts the process. There will be moments when everything in you wants to react, to doubt, to question. In those moments, return to the inner vision. Close your eyes and remember the feeling of success already attained. Breathe into that certainty until peace returns. This is your true power, the ability to choose your inner state regardless of outer noise. The world may tremble, but your faith remains still. And that stillness commands reality to obey. To act as if you cannot fail is to understand that the end of all striving is realization. You already are what you seek. The desire itself is proof of possession. You could not desire something that was not already yours in consciousness. So instead of reaching outward, turn inward. Claim it as yours within. Speak from it. Live from it. Let your words align with the truth you have accepted. Say to yourself daily, everything I touch prospers. Every step I take leads to victory. Every idea I hold bears fruit. Failure is not a part of my story. Let these affirmations not be empty words, but living truths. Feel their reality as you speak them. When you affirm something with emotion, you impress it upon the subconscious, and the subconscious obeys without question. It does not analyze, it accepts. It does not resist, it reproduces. What you consistently impress upon it becomes the pattern of your experience. So if you repeatedly affirm success, if you move as though you cannot fail, then success becomes inevitable. You were never created to doubt. Doubt is learned through the conditioning of the world. As children, we believed everything was possible. We imagined freely and felt joyfully. But as we grew, we began to absorb the limitations of others, their fears, their disappointments, their disbelief. We started to measure life through their failures. Yet even in that conditioning, the spark of divine power within you never dimmed. It only waited for recognition. Acting as if you cannot fail is the act of reawakening that spark. It is the conscious reclaiming of your creative birthright. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to express it. Every doubt you release makes room for greater demonstration of your power. Every time you choose faith over fear, you expand your capacity to receive. Each moment you act as if you cannot fail, you reaffirm the truth of your divine identity. The world begins to treat you according to your own recognition of self. It is not your actions alone, but your awareness behind those actions that creates change. A person who knows they cannot fail walks through life with grace. They do not rush, for they understand that everything is unfolding perfectly. They do not compete because they know their success is unique and inevitable. They do not cling to outcomes because they trust that what is meant for them cannot miss them. This state of faith magnetizes opportunities. It draws the right people, the right timing, and the right circumstances effortlessly. The energy of one who cannot fail is unmistakable. It carries a frequency of calm authority, quiet confidence, and radiant assurance. Others can feel it even if they cannot explain it. This energy shifts rooms, opens doors, and turns impossibilities into reality. The world mirrors back to you who you believe you are, and when you walk as one who cannot fail, the mirror reflects only victory. Consider for a moment the times you've succeeded unexpectedly. The moments when something just worked out almost magically. In those moments, you were not doubting, questioning, or worrying. You were simply being. You were aligned with your desire. You acted naturally from the end, without even realizing it. That is the essence of acting as if. It is not pretending, it is remembering. It is the remembrance that you are the creator of every outcome you experience. When fear arises, do not resist it. Transmute it. Fear is faith inverted. It is belief in the wrong direction. Bring that same intensity of belief back to the vision of success. Instead of asking, "What if it doesn't work?" ask, "What if it's already done?" Feel the difference in vibration. The second question opens you to infinite possibility. It draws your mind into alignment with divine certainty. Life will always give you evidence of your dominant state of consciousness. The one who expects failure will find failure everywhere. The one who expects success will find opportunity in every situation. This is not luck, it is law. Your outer world is simply echoing the music of your inner song. Change the tune, and the dance of life changes with it. To act as if you cannot fail also means to treat every situation as sacred training. The challenges that arise are not punishments, but invitations to deepen faith. Every time you face uncertainty, you are being asked, will you trust the vision or the appearance? The answer you give determines your destiny. The moment you choose the vision, you shift timelines. You move from limitation into manifestation. Faith is not passive. It is the most dynamic force in existence. It is the invisible substance that shapes the tangible. When you act as if you cannot fail, you are demonstrating faith in its purest form. You no longer live in reaction to what is. You live in creation of what will be. You understand that consciousness precedes reality. You no longer ask life for permission. You command it through the authority of belief. Let your actions become extensions of your inner certainty. When you speak to others, speak from victory. When you work, work from fulfillment. When you love, love from wholeness. Every gesture, every word, every breath becomes a declaration of your unshakable belief that failure is impossible. This alignment creates a vibration so strong that even the unseen forces must cooperate with it. Remember, the universe is impartial. It reflects what you are, not what you wish for. If you walk in the energy of success, success must appear. If you walk in the energy of defeat, defeat must appear. The law cannot fail, only your awareness of it can waver. But when you decide once and for all that failure is an illusion, the law begins to serve you effortlessly. Even in solitude, keep your inner conversation filled with assurance. Speak to yourself as one who is already victorious. Let your self-talk become the language of certainty. Everything I touch turns to gold. I move with purpose and ease. My success is inevitable. Nothing and no one can oppose the good that flows through me. These are not empty affirmations. They are keys that unlock hidden doors in consciousness. In time, you will begin to notice subtle changes. People respond to you differently. Opportunities come uninvited. The atmosphere around you feels charged with promise. You no longer feel the need to chase outcomes. They come to you naturally. This is not coincidence. It is the outworking of faith. You have shifted from effort to embodiment, from striving to knowing. The one who acts as if they cannot fail is never desperate, because they know that the power within them cannot be denied. They no longer pray from lack, but from fulfillment. Their words carry the vibration of completion, not of asking. They give thanks before the harvest, because they know the seed has already been planted. Gratitude becomes their language, not because they are trying to manifest something, but because they are aware that it is already done. Let every breath be a reminder that the divine is expressing itself through you. The intelligence that created the stars, the seas, and the seasons is breathing your breath, thinking your thoughts, animating your desires. Can such a force fail? Impossible. Therefore, you cannot fail. You may stumble, you may be redirected, you may be refined, but you cannot fail. Everything that happens serves the unfolding of your divine purpose. So walk in confidence, move in peace. Expect miracles not as rare occurrences, but as the natural rhythm of your life. You are the evidence of divine success in human form. Act from that truth and watch as life mirrors it back in countless ways. Every dream you have is already fulfilled in consciousness. You are not moving towards success. You are revealing it. You are not chasing destiny. You are awakening to it. And as you continue to live from this awareness, you will find that failure was never a real thing at all. It was only a passing shadow cast by doubt, and the light of your faith has made it disappear forever. So, stand today as one who remembers their power. Stand as one who no longer waits for proof, but moves as living proof. The world will mirror your certainty. Life will bow to your conviction. Every breath you take in faith becomes a decree to the universe that you have already won. Let your steps carry the quiet rhythm of assurance, not haste. Let your words speak from the end, not toward it. Let your mind be so anchored in the vision that doubt has nowhere to rest. You were not born to try. You were born to know. You were not born to fear. You were born to create. From this moment on, walk as if it is already done. Live as if success is inevitable. and act as if you cannot fail, for that is the truth of who you are. Act as if you are already loved beyond measure. Not loved in the distant future. Not loved when you finally become enough. Not loved when someone chooses you, but loved now, completely, infinitely, unconditionally. The love you seek has never been outside you. It has always been the quiet pulse beating within your being. It has always been the invisible current that carries your breath, your heartbeat, your very existence. When you act as if you are already loved beyond measure, you stop searching for evidence of it in the outer world. You stop trying to make others prove your worth. You stop begging for validation. Instead, you begin to live from a higher awareness, the knowing that love is your natural state, not a reward. Every word you speak, every thought you hold, begins to vibrate with this divine certainty: I am loved. Close your eyes and imagine what it would feel like if you were already the most cherished being in the universe. Imagine what it would feel like if you could sense that every atom around you adored your existence. How would you move? How would you speak? How would you look at yourself in the mirror? That feeling, that inner warmth, that peace that floods your heart when you imagine being so completely loved. That is the key. Hold that feeling, live from it. This is not pretending, it is remembering. You are not trying to become something new. You are remembering what you have always been. The world has taught you to believe that love must be earned, that affection is conditional, that worth depends on achievement or appearance. But divine truth whispers differently. It says, you were loved before you took your first breath. You are loved in every moment, even when you forget. To act as if you are already loved is to stop resisting the truth. It is to move through the world with quiet confidence. It is to smile for no reason other than knowing that the universe delights in your existence. It is to walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere, not because you demand attention, but because love radiates through you. Love recognizes itself wherever it flows. The secret is to feel it first. The mind wants proof. It wants something it can see. But love responds to feeling. The moment you feel loved, the universe begins to arrange itself to mirror that feeling. People appear who treat you with more care. Opportunities open that reflect your worth. You begin to attract conversations, relationships, and experiences that match the vibration you carry. The outer world bends to the inner assumption. When you begin to live as if you are loved beyond measure, you stop over-explaining, stop apologizing for your light, stop questioning whether you deserve happiness. You simply know. That knowing becomes your shield and your magnet. You no longer chase affection, you embody it. You no longer grasp for validation, you emanate self-assurance. You no longer wonder if you are enough. You move as someone who already is. Do not wait for the world to crown you with love. You are the source of it. Each thought of unworthiness dissolves when met with awareness of your divine identity. Each moment of self-doubt is transformed when you remember that love does not depend on perfection. It is perfection expressing through you. Imagine yourself walking through your day as if you are the embodiment of love itself. How would you respond to challenges? How would you treat those who misunderstand you? How would you handle silence or rejection? You would not crumble, because love that comes from within cannot be taken away. You would remain peaceful, radiant, and kind, knowing that every encounter is simply another reflection of your inner state. When you act as if you are already loved, you begin to forgive more easily. You release grudges because you no longer see yourself as unloved or unwanted. You begin to see others through the same lens of compassion that now colors your world. Love expands through you, healing old wounds, mending fractured perceptions. This is not about arrogance or self-worship. It is about recognizing the sacred truth that you are a vessel of infinite love. You are an expression of divine consciousness, and to act from that awareness is the highest form of worship. You cannot pour love into the world if you believe yourself empty. But once you accept that you are already overflowing, you begin to bless everything you touch. Your relationships transform, not because people suddenly change, but because you have. You no longer cling to the need to be reassured. You no longer interpret silence as rejection. You no longer fear being alone, because you know that the essence of love is within you, and therefore you are never truly without it. As you continue to live in this awareness, your entire reality reshapes itself. Every experience becomes proof of the love that flows through you. You notice beauty where you once saw emptiness. You feel peace where you once felt lack. The energy of love begins to wrap around you like sunlight, and every moment feels like a soft reminder. You are held. You are chosen. You are loved beyond measure. Speak to yourself with the language of love. Say within, I am adored. I am seen. I am deeply valued by the universe itself. Speak it until it becomes your default tone of thought. Each time you affirm love, you strengthen the vibration that draws it closer in visible form. The mind may protest, it may whisper, but where is the proof? Gently answer, the proof will come when I believe, because belief precedes experience. Feel first and then see. Assume love as your constant companion and watch how the world rearranges itself to reflect that assumption. Every cell of your body responds to the awareness of love. Your energy brightens, your posture changes, your eyes soften. You become magnetic, not by effort, but by alignment. What you carry within is always echoed without. So let your inner world be filled with the music of divine affection. There is a moment when pretending becomes being. At first, you may consciously remind yourself to act as if you are loved. You may pause, breathe, and recall the feeling. But soon it becomes effortless. It becomes who you are. Love no longer feels like a state you visit. It becomes your home. You begin to move through life with quiet certainty, as if the entire universe were conspiring to show you just how loved you are. Every sunrise feels personal. Every gentle breeze feels like a caress. Every challenge begins to look like an invitation to deepen your awareness of love's presence. You stop fearing loss, because how can you lose what is infinite? You stop doubting your value, because how can the divine create something unworthy? You stop chasing love, because you have realized that you are love itself, expressing and expanding endlessly. Act as if you are already loved beyond measure, and soon you will no longer need to act. The feeling will root itself so deeply that nothing external can shake it. You will become a living embodiment of divine affection, walking proof that the greatest love story is the one between your soul and the infinite presence within you. To act as if you are already loved beyond measure is to awaken from the illusion of separation. It is to step into the divine realization that the source of love is not outside you. It is you. The moment you recognize this truth, the chase ends. You no longer wander through life searching for love in people, achievements, or circumstances, because you begin to understand that what you are seeking has been whispering within you all along. The love that seems missing is not gone, it is unacknowledged. When you begin to live as if you are already loved, that hidden reservoir begins to flow freely, illuminating every part of your being. You become the one who smiles for no reason, who feels at peace even in solitude, who moves through each moment with grace. The world might call it confidence, but you know it is something deeper. It is the awareness of your divine worth. You no longer walk with the weight of trying to prove yourself. You are no longer performing for acceptance or begging for attention. You have found what you were looking for within. And once that inner discovery is made, the outer world must mirror it back. Imagine a life where your first thought each morning is, I am deeply loved. Imagine carrying that awareness into everything you do, into your work, your relationships, your daily routines. Imagine speaking, acting, creating, and resting with the consciousness that you are already held in the arms of infinite love. In such a state, fear begins to dissolve, anxiety quiets down, comparison loses its grip. You stop measuring your worth against the shifting opinions of others because you are anchored in something eternal. Act as if you are already loved beyond measure, and you will begin to see love where you once saw lack. Every experience becomes infused with new meaning. The smile of a stranger, the sound of rain, the warmth of the sun, all remind you that life itself adores you. Even your challenges begin to look different. You start to understand that love does not protect you from pain, but rather gives you the strength to move through it with wisdom and compassion. Love is not something you earn by doing enough, being enough, or achieving enough. Love is the truth of your being. To act as if you are already loved is to live in alignment with that truth. When you know you are loved, you stop resisting the good that wants to reach you. You stop questioning your blessings. You stop sabotaging your own joy because you finally accept that you deserve it. Think of how you would speak to yourself if you were already loved beyond measure. You would not criticize or belittle yourself. You would speak with tenderness. You would forgive yourself quickly. You would honor your boundaries because love respects itself. You would no longer chase what diminishes your spirit because love teaches you to choose peace over chaos, truth over pretense, and self-worth over approval. There is a quiet power that comes from this awareness. It is not loud or showy. It does not need to be. It radiates from the inside out. An invisible force that changes the atmosphere around you. When you carry the vibration of being loved, others feel it too. They may not know why, but they are drawn to your presence. They sense something real, something pure. You have become a reflection of the love they are also seeking. Living as if you are loved beyond measure is not about pretending that everything is perfect. It is about knowing that love remains even when life feels imperfect. It means you can face disappointment without losing your faith in goodness. It means you can experience loss without forgetting that love never truly leaves. It transforms. It means that even when tears fall, a quiet assurance whispers within, you are still held. You are still loved. When you live from this awareness, your desires begin to shift. You no longer seek love to fill a void. You desire to express it. You no longer crave validation, you crave connection. You no longer try to be loved. You become love itself, and love naturally flows toward you in return. You discover that giving love is never a risk, because in truth, You cannot run out of what you are made of. Feel this truth for a moment. Close your eyes and imagine being surrounded by an infinite presence of love. It does not judge. It does not demand. It simply holds you. Feel it in the space behind your heart, in the rhythm of your breath, in the stillness between thoughts. Let that love wash over you. Let it remind you that you have never been unloved, not for a single heartbeat. Every time you doubt your worth, return to this feeling. Every time loneliness whispers, return to this truth. Every time you fear rejection, remember that no external rejection can touch the one who knows they are already loved from within. The awareness of divine love is the greatest protection you can carry. It is the armor that shields you from the illusions of the world, and it is also the light that softens you toward others. As this awareness deepens, you begin to love without fear. You no longer love to receive, you love to reveal. You love not because you need someone to complete you, but because love wants to flow through you. The more you act from this consciousness, the more miracles unfold around you. Situations begin to resolve themselves. Relationships heal. Opportunities that once seemed distant begin to appear because you are now aligned with the frequency of abundance and grace. Every word you speak carries creative power. When you declare, "I am loved," the universe responds in kind. The outer world echoes your inner word. The people who enter your life begin to mirror the respect and tenderness you give yourself. The energy you send out returns multiplied. The invisible becomes visible. What once felt like emptiness becomes fullness. To act as if you are already loved beyond measure is to reprogram the foundation of your reality. It means that even when your senses show you loneliness, you persist in the awareness of love. You choose the unseen over the seen. You affirm love's presence until it becomes undeniable. You stop identifying with old stories of rejection or heartbreak, and you begin to tell a new story. The story of someone who has always been loved, who always will be loved, who is love itself in expression. You no longer view your past as something to regret, but as something that brought you to this understanding. Every heartbreak was a teacher. Every disappointment was an invitation to turn inward and discover the love that can never leave. Every moment of pain became a seed that grew into deeper wisdom. Now you stand in the awareness that you are whole, not because someone completed you, but because you remembered your own divine origin. When you act as if you are loved, you become a magnet for beauty. Love begins to paint through your life, through your words, your laughter, your silence, your presence. People begin to feel safer around you because your energy carries peace. Children and animals are drawn to you because they sense your authenticity. Life itself begins to cooperate with you, as if it recognizes that you are finally aligned with your true nature. This is what happens when you shift from seeking love to being love. The world changes its reflection. You stop chasing shadows and start living in light. You realize that every being is an expression of the same love that lives in you. Even those who hurt you are acting from their own forgetting of this truth. You begin to forgive not because they deserve it, but because love frees you. Each morning becomes a sacred reminder to live from love. Before you speak, you remember, I am already loved. Before you act, you remind yourself, I am guided by love. Before you rest, you whisper, I am safe in love. These quiet affirmations begin to build an inner atmosphere where fear cannot survive. As this awareness grows, your creativity blossoms. You start to create not from lack, but from overflow. You begin to write, paint, speak, or serve in ways that touch others, because your inspiration now flows from divine connection. Everything you do becomes an offering of love. Every action becomes an extension of grace. And when you encounter others who have forgotten their own worth, you do not judge them. You see through their pain to the divine love that still lives within them. You hold space for them, not by preaching but by being. Your presence becomes a silent invitation. Remember who you are. You are loved too. This awareness changes everything. It transforms how you move through success and failure alike. When things go well, you are grateful, but not boastful, because you know that love, not ego, is the source of all good. When things fall apart, you remain centered, because love does not abandon you. When circumstances shift, you live in the steady rhythm of divine affection that never wavers, no matter what appears on the surface. The truth is, you have always been loved beyond measure. Before anyone ever told you your name, love knew you. Before the first wound ever touched your heart, love held you. Before any dream or disappointment, love was already surrounding you. You are not here to earn love. You are here to remember it and express it through your unique form. Act as if you are already loved beyond measure, and you will watch your world begin to mirror that belief in extraordinary ways. The more you assume love's presence, the more evidence appears. The more you feel it within, the more it materializes without. Life begins to meet you at the level of your inner conviction. There is a divine rhythm to this truth. It does not demand speed, it invites surrender. The moment you stop striving for love and begin resting in it, you align with a higher current. This current carries you effortlessly toward experiences that reflect your worth. You no longer struggle to be seen because love already sees you. You no longer battle for attention because love already knows your name. Every time you affirm that you are loved, you are tuning yourself to the vibration of your true essence. And from that vibration, everything changes. The impossible becomes possible. The delayed becomes instant. The unseen becomes visible. You have been the beloved all along. Love is not coming to find you. It is waiting for you to open your heart to it. And when you do, the entire universe rushes to confirm what was always true. You are loved completely, infinitely, eternally, beyond measure. So now let your heart rest in this truth. There is nothing you must earn, nothing you must prove, and nothing you can lose that would ever diminish the love that already surrounds and fills you. You were born from love, sustained by love, and destined to return again and again to its endless embrace. Every time you choose to act as if you are already loved beyond measure, you are not pretending. You are remembering. You are aligning your life with the deepest reality there is. Walk forward in this awareness. Speak gently to yourself. Look upon the world through the eyes of love. Let your every breath become an affirmation that you are safe, chosen, and cherished. The more you live from this truth, the more you will see it reflected everywhere through the kindness of others, the beauty of nature, the peace in your own heart. You are not separate from love. You are its expression. And the moment you decide to live as if you are already loved beyond measure, the illusion of lack dissolves, and life itself begins to unfold as a continuous miracle of affection, abundance, and grace.